I'm good, thank you. I'm going to check your vocabulary homework first, okay? Alice and Jean, Alan did your homework, but Jake and June, why didn't you do your homework?
I was tired.
I am so sorry.
Okay, so please do your homework, okay?
Yeah.
But you guys all did the recording homework. That's excellent. Today we are going to study an exciting storybook. So before we start reading a book, we can look at the front and back covers and read the titles. Then based on what we see, we can guess the story. I think this might be a folk tale because the pictures of the people and the way they are dressed remind me of the pictures that I have seen in other folk tales. So do you know any other folk tales?
Yes.
What are they?
장화시는 고양이, 빨간 망토 아가씨.
Are there any Korean folk tales you know?
Yes.
What are they?
흥과 놀고 장화 홍련.
That's right. Now you understand what a folk tale is. Folk tale is 전래동화, right?
Yes.
So, what is the title of this book?
The Squire Bride.
The Squire's Bride. The Squire's Bride is a Norwegian folk tale. This is Norwegian folk tale. 이것은 우리나라의 전래동화가 아니라 노르웨이의 전래동화예요. Let's look at the cover. What can you see in the cover?
A man riding a horse.
A man is riding a horse, and what else?
People are working.
People are working, right? And there are more horses at the back, right?
Yes.
And do you know what the squire means?
No.
The squire is a richest landowner in the village. squire는 마을에서 가장 영토를 많이 가지고 있는 지주란 뜻이에요. So, do you think who's the squire is in this picture?
Man riding.
The man on the horse, right? Okay, good. So, do you know what the bride is?
No.
No? I'm going to give you a hint. 딴, 딴, 따란. 딴, 딴, 따란.
신랑.
신랑? No, this is not 신랑. The other person. 신부. That's right. The bride is 신부. So the squire's bride means 지주의 신부란 뜻이에요. Okay, let's look at more of the book. But don't look at page 14 and 15, okay? Okay, let's look through the book. Jake, can you guess about the story?
No.
No. What about Alice? Can you guess about the story?
A little bit.
A little bit. Tell me.
The squire wanted to marry with the girl.
The squire wanted to marry the girl. So did she wanted to marry the squire?
No.
No, no. And what is the horses doing here?
I don't know.
We don't know. I don't know either. So I don't know. We'll see. But it is very important to guess the story before reading. It helps you understand the story better. Now let's read the book together. Alice is going to read the book first. So if she has a wrong pronunciation, the next person continues to read, okay? 앨리스가 먼저 책을 읽고 앨리스가 발음이 틀리면 그 다음 사람이 계속해서 이어나가도록 하겠습니다. 그런데 while you are reading a book, please mark or underline the words you don't understand, okay?
Yes.
Okay, Alice, go ahead.
Feeling lonely. Long ago and far away, a rich squire
Squire rode out to took over his land. He watched his field workers
Harvesting, Ellen.
harvesting hay. The squire smiled, for he would soon be able to sell the hay for gold. The red leaf landed on the squire's nose. Then more and more leaves floated on the air. He frowned,
remembering how long and lonely winter was. The squire spotted spotted a lovely girl in the field. I shall make her my wife, he does. Will you marry me? He asks. You will have a big house and wear beautiful clothes. He says, but the girl
Refused.
Refused
Alice.
his offer. A promise made. The squire was angry. He promised to pay her father's debt.
Father's debt. Jake.
that if the father couldn't get his daughter to marry, the squire arranged
Arranged wedding. Ellen.
Arrange the wedding, said her father, and when you are ready, send for my daughter. The squire's could spent days making a feast, and the maids cleaned his big house to a shine. He invited all the neighbors and hired a parson. When everything was ready, he sent a boy to the girl's father. Tell him to send what he promised, the squire ordered, and be quick. A promise fulfilled.
Fulfilled. Jin.
fulfilled. The boy hurried to the farmer's house. My master said to send what you promised and hurry. Yes, yes, said the man. She's in the field. Fred, take her with you. The boy found the girl
Raking hay. Jun.
raking hay. He says, I'm here to fix what your father promised my master. Oh, yes, she says with a smile. He means the little bay mare. She's at the edge of the field. The boy jumped on the mare's back and rode fast to the squire's home. She's outside by the door. He told the squire, take her up tired.
Upstairs. And Alice.
Upstairs to her room, the squire said. The lad shook his head, but he knew better than to argue with the squire. He got 7 men to push and pull the mare up the stairs. The big event. When the woman came to dress the bride, they stretched and
Jake.
And with on the gown. They put flowers around her neck and a crown on her head. They put a
Satin slippers. Ellen.
satin slippers on her front hooves. The music began to play. The guests turned towards the door where the squire waited for his bride. There was a great
Clatter. Jin.
clatter on the stairs, for the bride had only 2 satin slippers. The door opened. The squire never went courting again.
Good. Excellent. Are there any words you don't understand?
Yes.
Say out loud.
Lonely.
And what is next?
Harvesting.
Harvesting. And what is next?
Floating.
Floated. Floated. And are there any words?
From.
Frown. And what is next word?
That.
That. And what is next word? Any other words? Person. And
Fulfilled.
fulfilled. And hay. Next is
Baymare.
Baymare. And lad. And next words?
Clever.
Clutter. Any other words? Courting. That's all? Any other words?
No.
No, okay. Wow, there are a lot of words you don't understand. First, you should open your book to page number 16. Please check the words you marked here. On this page, you can look up the words you don't understand, okay?
Yes.
Okay, what is the first word?
Lonely.
Lonely. If someone is lonely, he or she doesn't have any friends, they feel sad. What is this in Korean?
외로움.
외로운, that's right. What is next word?
Harvesting.
Harvesting. Harvest means cutting or picking a crop like this picture. They are harvesting. So harvest는 곡식을 추수하다라는 뜻이에요. Okay? What is next word?
Floating.
Floated. Floated means 공중에 떠다녔다라는 뜻인데요. From the book, more and more leaves floated on the air. 점점점 더 많은 잎사귀들이 공중에 떠다녔습니다. 흩날렸습니다라는 뜻으로 floated가 쓰였어요. What is the next word? Frown. I'm going to give you a hint. What is this? 찡그리다. That's right. Frown means 찡그리다. Let's frown together. 찡그리다. Okay, what is the next word? David? No. You gotta be careful of the pronunciation. This is that. That. Be silent here. Be silent. So you should say that. Repeat after me. That. It means money owed to someone. Okay?
Yes.
So I'm going to lend you some money. I'm going to lend you some money here. How much does he owe me? 1,000원. 1,000원 is his dad, okay? So his dad is 1,000원. So that은 빚을 말해요. 남에게 지는 빚. 그런 빚이 that이에요. Okay, what is next word? Parson. Parson means a minister or preacher in the church. So parson은 교회에 있는 목사님을 말하는데요. 서양에선 주로 목사님이 결혼식 주례를 보신답니다. What is next word? Fulfilled. 책에서는 a promise fulfilled라고 나왔었는데요. Promise, what does promise mean? 약속 혹은 다짐이라는 뜻이에요. A promise fulfilled는 이행된 약속. 왜냐하면 fulfill이 이행하다, 성취하다는 뜻이에요. 그래서 a promise fulfilled는 이행된 약속이라는 뜻이에요. What is the next word? Hay is very easy. This is hay. Hay is the grass which has been cut. This is hay. Is everything clear?
Yes.
Okay, what is bay mare? Bay mare is a horse. Not just horse, reddish brown female horse. A bay means reddish brown horse. A mare means a female horse. So bay mare means reddish brown horse. Is everything clear?
Yes.
Good. What is next word? Lad. Lad means a boy or young man, like you guys. And what is next word? Clatter. Clatter means this. 달그락. Clatter는 달그락거리는 소리를 말해요. What is this? Clatter. This is clatter, right? And what is next word? Courting. Courting is looking for a mate. So, for example, a man wants to marry a girl, so he sends flowers and presents to her to ask for love. That is courting. 남자친구가 여자친구가 좋아서 막 선물도 사주고 꽃도 사주고 막 그러는 거 있죠? 그러면서 막 그렇게 하는 것이 바로 courting이에요. 구애하다라는 뜻이에요. Is everything clear?
Yes.
So, while you are reading, there's words you don't understand. You can understand from the context. 책을 읽다가 모르는 단어가 나오면은 앞뒤 문맥을 사용해서 그 단어를 이해할 수도 있고요. Or if you still don't understand, please look it up in the dictionary, okay? Now let's read the book one more time. Okay, open your book to page number 4. Feeling lonely. Long ago and far away, a rich squire rode out to look over his land. He watched his field workers harvesting hay. This is the squire. the squire is looking at his workers harvesting hay, right? The squire smiled, for he would soon be able to sell the hay for gold. The squire was happy because if he sold the hay, he would have a lot of money, gold, right? A red leaf landed on the squire's nose, then more and more leaves floated on the air. He frowned, remembering how long and lonely winter was. The squire usually feels lonely in winter, right? The squire spotted a lovely girl in the field. The squire spotted means the squire found a lovely girl. I shall make her my wife. I will make her my wife, he thought. Will you marry me? He asked. You will have a big house and wear beautiful clothes, he said. But the girl refused his offer. So the squire was lonely and she wanted to marry the girl, but she didn't want to get married to the squire, right? And next page, a promise made. The squire was angry. Why was he angry? The girl doesn't want to get married to the squire, right? Good. He promised to pay her father's debt if the father could get his daughter to marry the squire. Arrange the wedding, said her father. When you are ready, send for my daughter. Her father promised the squire to help him because the squire gave him money. Good. The squire's cook spent days making a feast, and the maids cleaned his big house to shine. So people are preparing for the wedding. So they clean the house and they are making the food, things like that. He invited all the neighbors and hired the parson. When everything was ready, he sent the boy to the girl's father. Tell him to send what he promised, the squire ordered, and be quick. Her father said, when everything is ready, send someone and get my daughter. So the squire sent the boy to him, okay? A promise fulfilled. The boy hurried to the farmer's house. My master said to send what you promised and hurry. Yes, yes, said the man. She's in the field. Take her with you. The boy went to her father's house, right? So the father told him where she was. The boy found the girl raking hay. He said, I'm here to fetch what your father promised my master. Oh, yes, she said, with a smile. He means the little bay mare. She's at the edge of the field. The boy met the girl, but the girl sent the bay mare instead of herself. The boy jumped on the mare's back and rode fast to the squire's home. She's outside by the door, he told the squire. Take her upstairs to her room, the squire said. The lad shook his head, but he knew better than to argue with the squire. He got 7 men to push and pull the mare up the stairs. The boy brought the bay mare instead of the girl, right? But he thought that it was a little bit strange, but he didn't say anything to the squire. So the squire said, take her to a room. But the bay mare was heavy, so it needed 7 men to take her to a room. The big event. When the women came to dress the bride, they stretched and tugged on the gown. They put flowers around her neck and a crown on her head. They pulled satin slippers on her front hooves. The women thought that the bay mare was the bride, so they made a bay mare look beautiful. The music began to play. The music started. The guests turned to watch the door, while the squire waited for his bride. There was a great clatter on the stairs, for the bride had only 2 satin slippers. So the people and the squire were waiting for the bride, but they only heard the clatter. What was the clatter? Right? So they only heard the clatter because the bay mare only 2 satin slippers on. The other 2 legs were still making noises. The door opened. The squire never went courting again. Probably the squire and people were really surprised because the bride was a Horse, a bay mare, right? Now I'm going to ask you some questions. Please answer in a complete sentence, okay?
Yes.
Okay. So who was the richest man in the village?
The Squire.
The Squire. Complete sentence.
The Squire
Was the richest man. The Squire was the richest man, right? And when did the Squire feel lonely?
He felt lonely in winter.
He felt lonely in winter, right? Excellent. He was lonely, so what did he want to do?
He wanted to marry a girl.
He wanted to marry a girl. Did she want to get married to the Squire?
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't. She didn't want to get married to the Squire. So what did the Squire do?
He went to her father.
He went to her father. What did the Squire promise her father?
Pay that.
Pay his dad. So repeat after me. He promised to pay his dad.
He promised to pay that.
He promised to pay his dad.
He promised to pay that.
Good. So he promised to pay his dad, and when everything was ready, what did the Squire send to her father?
The Squire sent a boy to her father.
The Squire sent a boy to her father, right?
Yes.
What did the boy bring?
Her father.
What did the boy bring? Her father? No. He brought the bay mare. He brought the bay mare. Did the Squire know that? No. Who was the bride in the end?
The bride was the bay mare.
The bride was the bay mare. Now it's time to study grammar. Folktales usually written in the past tense because they are retelling of something that has already happened. So something happened a long time ago. It is explained now. 이렇게 전래동화는 다 과거 시제로 이루어져 있어요. 왜냐하면 과거에 일어난 일을 지금 얘기하고 있기 때문이에요. 자, 이렇게 과거 시제를 얘기하기 위해서는 우리가 과거 동사가 필요한데요. 과거 동사는 어떻게 만드냐면 이렇게 동사 원형에다가 ed를 붙여서 frowned, ed를 붙이면 과거 동사가 돼요. 이런 동사들을 regular verbs라고 하고요. 그런데 there are a lot of verbs that change the spelling in the past form. 과거 동사로 바뀔 때 스펠링이 바뀐 동사들이 많아요. 그런 동사들은 irregular verbs라고 하죠. 예를 들어서 shook. So now I want you to find the past tense verbs with your partner. Alice, Jake, Ellen, you guys are partner, and Jean and June, you guys are partner. So please circle the past tense verb through the book, okay?
Yes.
Okay, have you circled the verbs?
Yes.
Yes. And what about new?
Irregular verb.
Irregular verb, right. This is not ed ending, right? What about smiled?
Regular verb.
Regular verbs because it is end with ed, right? What about sad?
Irregular verb.
Irregular verbs. And what about found?
Irregular verb.
It goes to irregular verbs because the spelling has been changed, right? And spent.
Irregular verb.
Irregular verbs. And what about promised?
Regular verb.
Regular verbs. This is ed ending. What about came?
Irregular verb.
Irregular verbs. What about landed?
Regular verb.
Regular verbs. And what about jumped?
Regular verb.
Regular verbs. and cleaned.
Regular verb.
Regular verbs, right? Last but not least, told goes to irregular verbs. That's right. So what are regular verbs? Frowned, smiled, promised, landed, jumped, cleaned. What about irregular verbs? Shook, knew, said, found, spent, came, told. That's right, excellent. So while you're reading a book, were you curious about the ending?
Yeah.
So if you were a writer, how would you change the ending? Alice, what about you?
The Squire and girl got married because he is rich.
Ah, the squire is rich, so the girl got married to the squire. That's a good idea. What about you, June?
The squire traveled with a bay mare.
The squire traveled with a bay mare. That's good, excellent. Any other opinions?
Me.
Okay, Jin.
Her father gave money back to the squire.
Her father gave money back to the squire. At first, the squire gave him money, so he gave money back to the squire. That's good, excellent. Folk tales usually consist of setting, characters, and events. setting은 배경을 말해요. When and where the story takes place. 그 이야기가 어디에서 혹은 언제 펼쳐졌는지. And characters. character는 등장인물을 말해요. Who's in the story. 그 이야기 속에 누가 등장했는지. And next is event. 이벤트는 사건을 말해요. 그 이야기 속에 어떤 사건이 펼쳐졌는지. So, what happens in the story? That's the event. So, what is the setting of the story?
I don't know.
Yes, the setting is not clear in this story. So, we don't know when or where the story happened, right? So, it just happened a long time ago. We only know that. So, what are the characters in this story?
Squire, girl, her father, and boy.
And what else?
Bay mare.
Bay mare, that's right. And what is the event of the story?
The squire wants to marry a girl, but he almost married the bay mare.
That's right. The squire wanted to marry the girl, but he almost married the bay mare. That's right, excellent. So did you enjoy today's story?
Yes.
So now I'm going to give you homework. Please do a book test and write a book report. A book report is writing how you feel about the story after reading, okay?
Yes.
So it's time to wrap it up and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.